joining us for the dress rehearsal. And I'm going to just run through basics of how the event is going to work for us. The way that the trivia tournament is going to work, we've got 8 teams competing, and we do 3 rounds. Each round of the tournament has 2 rumbles in it. We do a regular rumble, and then we do a lightning rumble. And I'm going to explain the difference between those 2 rumble in a minute. It's a difference of timing. The rumble basically means that's when we have the trivia facilitator asking the teams questions and you folks are providing responses, and you guys, 2 teams will go head to head in each round. And I'm going to show you a sample form. We're going to run through that together today. So you can see round 1, we're going to have teams face off in each of the different, we're going to have 4 different rooms. So the B team, you're going to be going against All Booked Up, and where next level is it? I believe, Louise, your next level, you'll be going against the Bibliotechies, and then the other teams are going to be heading off in the other 2 rooms. Then you'll switch and compete against a different team in the second round. And as you can see at the bottom for round 3, we do not know who is going to come out on top. So whoever has the top 3 scores, we're going to take those teams. They're going to all compete together head to head in the main room, while everybody else is welcome to stick around and be spectators and cheer them on. After we get through the regular rumble, one of those will be eliminated, and then it's the final lightning round to win the championship and the big trophy. And as well, as this is a fundraising event for Project Read, just wanted to give a shout out to all the teams that have done such a great job fundraising for us so far. We also have a volunteer team, which is fundraising, and technically we're on top, but we're not actually competing for the prizes. So right now, the top fundraising teams, my apologies, are the Waterloo Region Police Word Wizards, followed by All Booked Up and Next Level, then the B team, then the Steve Page Turner Overdrive, then What's Up, the Bibliotechies, and Reading Rumble Team London. So thank you to everyone. The prizes are going to the top fundraising, the 3 individuals. So it's not necessarily those top 3 teams that are going to win. Everybody's got a chance here. There's still 1 league left. Keep it up. We're very close to our target of meeting the same funds we got last year, and we'd still like to hit 10,000.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to bring us over. Does anybody have any questions so far about the basic flow of the tournament?
I just want to say we went up by $100.
Well done. Always climbing. Very excited.
Mm-hmm. And while we're going head to head in the first rounds, we're in a separate room with just our opponent that we're going head to head with. We can't see or hear what the other teams are doing, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
We're going to get everybody to go off into little breakout rooms to kind of tone down that extra background noise so that you can focus on getting those right answers. So once we get started into the trivia, I will invite you to join the breakout rooms. The 2 teams and your facilitator and your scorekeeper, you're all going to join in one little breakout room together. You're going to be presented with a form just like what I'm doing right now on the screen. This is a sample dress rehearsal form. These are the real questions for next week. The facilitator will be reading through the questions as they go through. When it's your team to respond, your team has the rights to use the microphone and the chat feature. So if your team is in different areas, you guys can all unmute yourselves and have the conversation. if somebody's not using the microphone, they want to just put notes in the chat, it's for your team at that point. When it's not your turn, you're going to give the same opportunity to the other team and let them have the microphone, the stage, and the chat feature. And as you go through, the moderator is going to decide who goes first, and the form is going to calculate the scores as we go along.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you don't have to keep track of anything. It's all going to happen for us in the background. At the end of each round, when you go back into the main room with everyone, we're going to show everybody's scores on a big leaderboard so that you can see how everybody did. So for the sake of our practice run, we're going to go Team A is competing against Team B. And then we'll review the basic rules before we start into the trivia. We were going to do the same thing next week for you as well. So again, every team has 2 to 4 members. Each team, you guys get to choose your spokesperson. We need a spokesperson because the trivia facilitator needs to know who will provide the final answer. If you've got a team of 4 people that are all sharing 4 different answers, we want to know which is the one we're supposed to listen to. So at the beginning, you decide who that's going to be. You let the facilitator in your breakout room know, and then we'll move on with the questions. There can be no assistance from other audience members. If there were audience members, that's more important when we get to round 3 and we have spectators around.
Yes.
The moderator's decision is final in any questionable answer. However, if you have a question and you want to bring that forward, you're welcome to do so. You get 1 challenge per round, and the facilitator can raise their hand and bring myself or one of the other supporting admin people on our team to come to the room and check the answer with you. And if we've made a mistake, because it could happen, we're human, we would then go and pull a different question and give it to you as an alternate. Because I'm not saying you made the mistake, Jane, but in our layers, Jane has developed all the questions. We've filtered the questions, sorted the questions, pumped them into the forms, and made it all score keep. So somewhere it is possible, but we have checked and we're 99% sure it's going to go off without a hitch. But we have those backup questions if it happens. It is a fun event. We want to keep it friendly competition, a little light banter between yourselves, but let's be friends. Once we've reviewed the rules, did any of you folks have any questions about the rules before I move on? Perfect. So as we start in, we would go through the regular rumble. As mentioned, this is different than the lightning rumble because we go question to one team and then question to the other team. We're going to alternate for 10 questions all the way through. Each question, you'll get 15 seconds on the timer to provide the answer. Quite likely your timekeeper person will let you know when there's only 5 seconds left, and then you need to provide your final answer. The timer starts, as noted, at the end of the question being read out loud, again, to try and make sure everyone has the same amount of time available to them. And each question in the regular rumble is just worth 1 point here. So once we've reviewed all the rules, we would ask if team 1 is ready for their first question. We want to make sure you're ready, because as soon as you tell me I'm ready and I go on to the next page, we're into the questions and the timer is going to start. So ready? Ready, right? First question, sample question. What is the name of the main character in Dirty Birds? Start the timer. And 15 seconds is going to count down. When you provide the answer, the trivia facilitator in your breakout room is going to have the correct answer in front of them. They'll let you know if you got it right or wrong. If you got it right, we're going to mark it that you got it right. If you got it wrong, we're going to mark it that you got it wrong. If you want to know the right answer, we can provide that to you at this time. There is no opportunity for stealing questions. It's just for fun. You don't get points if you steal somebody else's question. Then we check, is the other team ready? If the other team is ready, we're going to hit the next button. Okay, go. And what is the name of the main character in Fight Night? Start the timer. And we'll start the timer and give you 15 seconds. You'll see there on the screen, it'll say if you're team 2, so that there's a clue as well on the visual for us to keep us on track. If you get the answer correct or incorrect, we plug that in again so that the score is going to be tabulated for us. And we'll move on to the next question. Back to team 1. What is the name of the author of the Fight Night book? You have 15 seconds on the clock to provide the answer. We've marked it. We check in with the other team. We were just team 1. So is team 2 ready for the next question? When they agree, we're good to go. We're on to the next question. What is the name of the author of Dirty Birds? Starting the timer. Correct, incorrect, or skipped. So we would keep going like that for 10 questions each. That's the regular Rumble, okay? I'm going to go on to the Lightning Rumble. It's very similar.
You're going to let them know that these are the simplest questions we had, right?
These are the simplest,
I would
easiest sample questions we are sharing with you today. You can expect some higher complexity next week, yes. So for the Lightning Rumble, we will have up to 2 minutes on the clock, and we do rapid fire for one team. So one team is going to get those questions all in a row. If you don't know the answer to one, you can skip and move on to the next question because you've only got 2 minutes for this section. And each of these answers is worth 2 points. So you really don't want to get stuck just thinking about question 2. If you might answer to the last 5 questions, you could get some points racked out. When you get to the end of your 10 questions, if there is still time on your clock, the facilitator will let you go back and answer those questions or take a stab at answering those questions that you skipped to see if you can get those points. And if you get all 10 questions in the Lightning Rumble correct, then you get an extra 5 points. Okay. So we would start with team 1, check with team 1, make sure you're ready to go. And our timer is ready, our facilitator is ready in our breakout room. We're all set. All right. Clicking the next button. So, lightning question 1. What did Swiv find under the bed in Ken's house? Starting the timer. 2 minutes on the clock. Don't know the answer to that one. Skip it. What did Leonard Cohen call the cupboard? Oh, also, I have been noted. Leonard Cohen is in both books. If this situation occurs during the tournament in any of the questions, we would actually note which book it belongs to. I just forgot to make that note here, and I do apologize. But if the book should be obvious, like if it's a question about Swiv, if you've read the book with Swiv in it, I'm not going to tell you which book it belongs to. We're letting a little bit to be figured out, right? So when you get to the end of the 10 questions, as I said, you can always go back to the previous one that we skipped, give the correct answer, hopefully, and then move forward. Once there's no more time on the clock, though, that's it. 2 minutes is over. Now we need to check if you got all 10 questions right. If you did, we're going to tick the mark, give you an extra 5 points for that. And then we would move on to team 2. Check in, make sure team 2 is ready, make sure team 1 is fully mic'd. Okay, good. Off we go. What doesn't Grandma eat? Start the timer. 2 minutes on the clock. Again, for team 2 here. We'll check in. How did Belly Button Saskatchewan get its name? Correct or incorrect? The facilitator is going to let the timekeeper know so that we got scoring for you. You don't have to hit the buttons. When you get to the end of the 10 questions again, team 2 has the opportunity to go back. But if we move on, we're going to say, no, they didn't get all 10 questions right this round. Bummer. And then at the end, it's all done. We've done 10 questions for each team for the regular. We've done 10 questions for each team for a lightning rumble. And that's a wrap. And at the end of the round, now we're going to submit the responses. All of that information is going to our spreadsheets where we're going to calculate our scores. And we can go back into the main room now to see that on the main screen. If you want to just review what the questions and answers were because you've zipped through them and you've got time with your facilitator and your timekeeper, you can click the view the score and you can then go through and see what you got right and what you got wrong. Apologies for the zooming, I should have warned. So there you go. I can see I put that one in wrong. Have a chat about it, why we think it was wrong, how we could have done better. Oh, I'm so silly. I got that one wrong, right? But you don't have to look at this. This is all for our information. But in the interest of transparency, here it is so you can see it as well. If there are any mistakes that happen, we have the ability to correct them. So feel free to speak up and flag anything that you think may have gotten like, oh, somebody clicked incorrect. And that one, we definitely got that one right. Or on the other hand, if the other team got one clicked right, you know they didn't, then you might want to flag that as well. I don't think good sportsmanship. We want everybody to play fair here. But that's how the Reading Rumble works. Does anybody have any other questions?
Yeah. Oh, maybe just a general one about how long the whole, like from beginning to end, do you have an estimate?
Yes, actually. We are scheduled done the entire thing at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Yep. And I believe the round 3 I have scheduled to start at perhaps 2:15, if memory serves. At which point, if you're not in that top 3 team competitors, we know that some people have some other things to do and you don't have to stick around and be a spectator or a cheerleader if you don't want to, but we would love to have you stick around if you can.
But they might want to come back because at the end is the prize stuff.
Right.
Thank you, Jane. Yes, we will be announcing prizes at the very end. Very important. So you might want to have at least one person on your team stick around for sure. And we are announcing prizes for the top 3 fundraisers, the top trivia team, the most vulnerable players. We have an award for the team who doesn't do so well. Yes. Team for prize for team spirit as well. So bring your costumes and your energy and I don't know, whatever else you want to demonstrate your team spirit.